Malik is a senior industry leader with over 3 decades of experience in fashion retail, manufacturing, supply chain, brand management and sales. As the Chief Executive Officer of the Innerwear and Athleisure business at Aditya Birla Fashion and Retail Limited, he plays a pivotal role in shaping the brand's vision and driving its growth in the competitive Indian market. An alumnus of the IIM Bangalore, NIF Delhi and TIT Bhiwani, his leadership has been instrumental in transforming Van Heusen Innerwear and Athleisure into a category-defining brand, the second largest innerwear player in the mid-premium segment, offering differentiated, innovative and consumer-loved products tailored to modern Indian preferences. Please welcome on stage Mr. Puneet Malik, Chief Executive Officer, Van Heusen Innerwear. Mr. Mohit Jain is a third-generation entrepreneur spearheading the growth of Floret, a leading lingerie brand. With a degree in fashion business management from Pearl Academy and a postgraduate degree from SP Jain Global School of Management, Mohit is driving Floret towards new heights by integrating contemporary design trends, digital transformation and customer-centric approaches. His leadership reflects a blend of tradition and modernity, ensuring the brand stays relevant in the ever-evolving lingerie market. A warm welcome to Mr. Mohit Jain. Mr. Ajit Virwani is Chief Executive Officer, Libertina. Ajit Virwani is and the co-founder at Tuna Active. He is an MBA from Cardiff Business School and completed his Masters of Commerce from the University of Mumbai. He has worked at Libertina for the last 25 years, starting his career with production and slowly progressing towards marketing and sales. Currently, he handles the overall operations of the firm. A warm welcome to Ajit Virwani. And joining us also is Mr. Siddharth Grover, Director, Groversons Group. He has been an out-of-the-box thinker like his father with clarity of vision and an astute business sense. These attributes help transform Groversons from a small-scale business into the present-day women's intimate clothing giant. A warm welcome to Siddharth Grover. And ladies and gentlemen, our moderator is Vibhuti Sharma, Senior Consultant, Wazir Advisors. Over to you, Vibhuti, to put the theme and the focus on conservative to contemporary, the evolution of Indian intimate apparel industry. Vibhuti, over to you. We'll have to shout to overcome the noise next door.
Great, thank you so much. So we'll begin with the panel discussion, conservative to contemporary. So from conservative to contemporary, essentially, we as an intimate apparel industry have come from something that was traditionally a hushed product to buy, and then maybe not very much branded, not very much advertised. And then also we are coming from an industry which was traditionally only cottons. But right now, if you look at the industry, even if you get a chance to just walk through all the stalls that are here, you will be able to understand and see what kind of creative products are being offered, what kind of new innovative products are being offered. So that is what the crux of the entire panel discussion today is going to be. So I think I would just pass on the mic, and I would like Mr. Ajit to tell us the story of how they have taken their brand from conservative to contemporary.
Thank you, Vibhuti. Thank you so much. I think I have a lot of stalwarts here. I mean, you're telling me to speak before anybody else, but so contemporary, I think that transition has happened quite some time back. It's not now. The Indian market has adapted a while back. It's just how much more we are growing and at what pace we are growing. I think what happens is at what pace we are growing is very important. Yes, we are going towards the contemporary way. We are going towards, maybe we reach a stage where we will surpass the West to a great extent, where the production is going, where the technical capabilities of our country are reaching. So I see that growing. Coming from a traditional a brand, you know, we're more like a traditional homegrown brand. We see a lot of changes in terms of, I was just telling Prashant, I see a lot of changes in terms of policies, market policies, retailer policies, distributor policies. It's very important to see how that is formulated and how that is changing more than anything else. Of course, we were discussing product, but at this stage, India has reached a point where product is a given. You assume that you have the best product anyway, right? it's everything else which is so dynamic or changing so dynamically that you have to keep in mind and go towards. Yeah.
Definitely, I agree that product has to be king, like we were talking outside stage. So I think this was one perspective. I would also like to take into account how men's innerwear over the years has also changed and how innovation is also entering this particular industry. So I think I would request Mr. Sunil to give us a little overview about this conservative to contemporary men's innerwear.
Thank you very much, first of all. Your question from, I think we are the brand which is like for last 54 years and people talk, okay, it has become more innovative, how conservative this industry was, how conservative people were thinking in the industry. So in last 54 years or much before that, I think we had seen a lot of changes. Lot means lot. If I had to give some examples like 72, if I talk 72, 74, the campaign which our Frenchy brand came with, chopping with Dilip Tail's ad, Doordarshan didn't allow us to run that campaign on television during those days. So it was that conservative.
Right.
Then even in 2004, if I'd say, when we came with Frenchy X hoardings, big hoardings, man showing an undergarment, forget the ladies' intimate apparel wear, man showing undergarment with a large hoardings. There was a sumo moto action by women's organization. How can you show a men's showing such a big undergarment?
Right.
And there was a, it was brought on Times of India's front page as a news, which of course helped the brand, I would say, because any publicity is a good publicity and it helps the brand. But it was on a Times of India for 3 days, and it was also on a Radio City asking this question, whether this action should have been taken or not. So of course we enjoyed that free publicity, which is most welcome. But having said that, I would say if that was a conservativeness of the mindset, and if we see today, the mindset has extremely changed in terms of trade, the expectations, it has been changed, how you display the product has been changed, the way you are going to see the fashion show, which noise which we have been hearing it is extremely, the way we can showcase our product. This was, I would say the industry has completely changed. In terms of perception of the pricing, even if we had to change a rupee in MRP, people were very conservative. And I think the old players will agree to it. And when the new players comes in and say that, okay, the 500 rupees MRP or something, it helps us, because now even if we change 10 rupees to 15 rupees MRP, it doesn't matter. Consumers are ready to pay. Consumers are, they want some new things to come in. In terms of fabrics, there is a lot of innovations happening. From cotton, what was only there, to modal, to tensils, to lancing, what we are seeing. So I would say there is a drastic change in communication style, in doing the business style, how you are projecting your style, in terms of how you are selling the product. So everything has been changed in last so many years from conservative to what we look today.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Mr. Sunil. There are basically 2 points that I would like to take out from the discussion and delve into further. First is the changing consumer requirements. So I think, Siddharth, since you're the second generation in this business, I would like to ask you, how are you mapping the changing consumer demands? Where do you find that this is what the consumer would like, this is what he or she would not like, and how do you proceed further?
I'll correct you here, I'm the third generation in the business.
My bad.
So starting from there, I think the consumers are very open now. They're very aware and very sure of what they want. A lot of this has to do with internet and social media playing a large part of their choices and their decision making. I think we as brands also have the opportunity of connecting with our consumers directly via social media or stores or a lot of other ways, wherein we can understand what they are asking for, what they are wanting. So research is one side of things, but connecting with your consumer to understand what they want is another side. So I think you have to have both things parallelly, doing the kind of research to get your inputs in terms of what the consumer wants. I think the younger generation that we are seeing now are not buying innerwear for just completing the function of or solving a problem that we need innerwear, but also to feel good about themselves, It makes them feel better, empowered, powerful, and along with functionality and comfort. I mean, that goes without saying. Everybody wants a high quality product. So I think this is the change that we are seeing in the consumer these days, and we have to keep learning from them to keep evolving further.
Absolutely. What the consumer requires is absolutely the most important. I would like to pose the same question to Mr. Mohit Jain, and I would like to understand how have they incorporated the consumer feedback and what new innovations or changes are you making in your brand so that you adjust to these bold and experiential demands of the consumers.
See, for us, we've also been a very contemporary brand from the beginning, and changing towards a newer, from a conservative to a contemporary brand. Oh, sorry, we've been a conservative brand, making majorly the products which are which fulfills the needs more than the fashion. But seeing the current scenario, and as Siddharth said, that the involvement of social media in our life and innerwear being worn as a garment, not as a just an innerwear not just as innerwear, has helped us a lot to understand the consumer behavior as well. And social media, interacting with customers, interacting with consumers on places where we can see, no matter how contemporary it gets, but it's still a taboo in India. Talking about innerwear, about women innerwear, lingerie, it's still not a very a topic that's very acceptable in India. So wherever we interact with our consumers, we also keep some forums. We invite some people from the industry, from the women who are working towards women empowerment, to know what they want, what's the next thing, that how are they inculcating in a wardrobe as not just as a garment but as a fashion accessory for them, which gives them empowerment and helps the women feel more about their own body and their own self.
Thank you, Mohit. I think definitely the change has been there and the change has come in the last few years. But I think one important question also is how difficult has the change been for the brands? So I think I would request Mr. Puneet to give us a few points on that and also help us understand how the retail landscape has changed over the years.
Yeah, I think I think the way the market has evolved in this category, it has been a very, so to say, functional, very basic category. And from there, it has become almost a statement of style, comfort, and individuality. So, like everybody picked up, confidence beyond comfort is playing a significant role in the minds of the consumers. Customers want products that reflect their personality. And brands have to evolve to get closer to what consumers are seeking beyond comfort. Influence of social, digital media, all of that has been a significant contributor to how consumer preferences have shifted over a period of time. So to your question, how retail has evolved, I think EBO as a channel, retail as a channel, is something that allows brands to showcase their entire product portfolio in its full glory. It allows brands to give access to consumers the way the multi-brand channel cannot today. And hence, EBO is becoming a significant channel in terms of retailing, how we retail products. How consumers relate to brands is also coming alive through the EBO channel. So I think there is this whole transition that the industry is going through at this point of time, where trade and the multi-brand channel is becoming less significant, although important still. And EBO and online as a channel is emerging, where consumers are exploring products online, buying offline. Omni-channel is also emerging. and hence how consumers are today buying products is shifting from the way it has been over the past 10 years or so. Yeah.
Absolutely. With the penetration of internet, the online sales have gone up, and it is important that we be present at different ways of retailing. So, Mr. Sunil, I'll come to you with this question. Is that how important is this omni-channel strategy, and how are you as a brand present at different levels of retail?
I would say like, yes, this change has happened and consumers are not really ready to wait, which they were in the past, like 50 years back. If I ask you, the delivery times to a distribution level or retail level, even if it was month or more than a month, even the distributors or retailers used to wait. But now, forget retailers, the consumers are not ready to wait that long. So the companies needs to adapt and change according to this, the new thing which is coming in, and especially with the quick commerce coming in, where our industry, where we look at innerwear, even I was not visualizing that consumer want this innerwear in a 15 minutes cycle. But that's the consumer's mindset has been changing. The new Gen Z or the new millennium population is not really ready to wait. And I would say this, all the companies need to adapt and need to change according to their cycle, for their logistics, for their sourcing, for their everything. So this change is happening and no one can avoid this. One needs to get prepared for this kind of change and needs to adapt to this kind of change and need to work on this change.
Absolutely. And also with quick commerce coming in, it has become even more, the requirement has even become more fast.
Definitely more faster.
I think we've talked about the kind of change that the industry has experienced in terms of what the consumer is requiring, and also in terms of what are the retail terms and whether MBOs and EBOs will work. But I think it's also important that we discuss what challenges are there in making this shift. So I think, Siddharth, I would request you to help us understand what challenges does a brand face when they are making this transition. We do understand that the consumer wants this, so the consumer just comes and says that this is a particular product that I want. Let's say it could be a shapewear these days. So how do you manage the back end, the supply chains, and how do you change as a brand for those requirements?
See, I think firstly we should understand where our limitations lie. Every brand cannot do everything. That's the first principle of anything. Because the consumer would always want something new from you every other day, which practically is not possible. So you need to pick and choose what you want to do and where your strength lies. Because introducing any product or category is not just one product or category. There's a lot of back-end work that needs to be there. There's a lead time in play. There's fabrics that are being in circulation. Then there's stock lying at our end, at distributors end, at retailers end. So it's a very long cycle that we need to cover. And it is not to launch a product for one time, but it has to be a continuous supply. There needs to be a service, which, as mentioned, the patience levels have gone down. So if you're not able to service what your offering is of no good use, right? So I think what we are trying to understand is where to go, what to do, because we can't do everything. And we need to accept that. To be able to do everything, you need a very, very large bandwidth and volume and everything. Absolutely. So I think we understand that, and we only do things that we think we can manage and service very well.
Understood. So definitely it has a choice that has to be made, whether you want to pick a particular product or what your brand needs to be known for. So Ajit, I'll come to you now with the same question about the challenges that you've faced over the journey of this changing landscape.
So there are multiple challenges. You can't just pinpoint one particular thing. Sorry? Yeah, I know you can hear. With the inset of foreign brands, of course, that is a big challenge. They come with big pockets. And for any kind of Indian homegrown brand, that becomes a challenge. That is one point. I already discussed dynamic changing policies and terms and conditions which keep changing. Product, to keep up with product and to keep up with what the customer wants. Now, we've reached a stage where we even get calls to customize lingerie. Like there are women who want this type of, because online, the advent of online has made it so accessible for somebody to reach a company directly, and you have a point of contact, you have a voice on the other end of the phone you can speak to, so you have a customer service team, etc. So they tell them that this is what we want. So satisfying the customer is also become a big challenge. A customer cannot just make do with what is given. In fact, they'll go beyond. Iske baad aur kya? Even if you tell them, okay, we are giving you this is what you want. Okay, what more can be done also comes into play. And of course, economically also the way, there are ups in the market, there are downs in the market, which is always prevailing, which is always a challenge. So, yeah, they're basically good.
I think one question and one last question that I have for everybody is that where do you see the future of intimate apparel going, and what should you as brands be doing to change your ways, adopt to those future prospective potential changes, and become a global or an Indian leader in this landscape? Maybe I think Mr. Sunil, you can start.
I think we have been hearing this number of 90,000 crores of the size of the market.
Right.
Now, was this market already there a couple of years back, and the brand has not, taken even the share of it? And now, if you see, the brands have become more aggressive, and I think still there is a share for a lot of brands to accept, because the unorganized sector, which is also still big. So I think that's the share which I think each of the brands are still able to capture. So the market is quite big, and I think one who is more aggressive and one who is more accepting the changes which are happening and able to adapt their companies to that extent, or the brand philosophy to that extent, can have the pie share more. So I think being aggressive, being closer to the market, being present in all the channels of the market, that's the key which the brand should look at.
Also, marketing and advertising would also play a very important part, is it?
It is going to play an important part, from the televisions to digitalization. Even there, the change is going to be there, and maybe in future there could be more things. Today you might be watching OTT things, but tomorrow's generation may not be even watching that. So there could be change in that. So I think change is something which is going to be constant, and we need to adopt that change in one word, if I have to say.
Mr. Puneet, your inputs on that?
I think the future is bright, at the same time very challenging, because the competitive intensity in this market is increasing dramatically. Lots of brands are coming in, whether it's international brands or Indian brands itself. And the consumers are also becoming much more sophisticated in terms of their demand. And that's happening because of the exposure to the international brands, to the digital media, social media, and the way Indian economy is also evolving. So on one hand, the consumer preferences are becoming much more sophisticated. They want products faster, better, cheaper, my style, my fit, my price, something which can reflect my personality, something which can enhance my confidence, something which can enhance my comfort. Even at comfort, it's becoming more nuanced. Even at that level, they are expecting antibacterial, they are expecting quick dry and all of that. So I think the sophistication is going to the next level in terms of consumer expectations. They want the product now, quick commerce, and they want to get access to products much more easily, whether it's online, whether it's through your EBO. So I want to go to your EBO, explore the product, but I want to buy it online, or I want to buy it on quick commerce. So omni-channel, how it will emerge. So the market is becoming much more complex than what it has been so far. Consumer preferences are much more sophisticated. Channels are becoming much more complex. The margins are reducing because retail rentals are very high. Today we do a lot of business through a trade channel which has a very low SLX. But tomorrow when you have to do retail, you have to pay those rentals. When you have to be present online, your margins are going to get compromised. And when you are on online, consumers have access to all brands. Many D2C brands are emerging in the category. People are finding specific niches and hence personalization is becoming more and more important for brands to follow. So as I say, the market is becoming much more complex. Consumers are becoming much more sophisticated. Channels are becoming much more evolved. And the fact remains that in every market, consumers will want products cheaper, better, faster. And hence and supply chains are very difficult for India because yes, India has strength in cottons. But when it comes to synthetics, polyamides, polyesters, we still have to depend a lot on China, Bangladesh and outside India. And we don't have capability, technical know-how, even bra manufacturing for that matter. It is still not evolved in India.
Right.
So there is a need so cotton side, yes, we have opportunity, we have strengths, we can scale up, we can do more exports, the industry can evolve, all of that can happen. On the synthetic side, the supply chain is still very outside India and we have to depend a lot on, and hence there is a longer lead time, the supply chain is long and rigid, you can't react quickly while the consumers expect you to react faster. The category is now becoming more like a fashion play, and when it becomes closer to fashion, it also means higher risk, higher obsolescence, lower margins, higher discounting. Brands are discounting in this category. There were no discounts till some time ago.
Right.
And hence, I would say it is, while there is opportunity, India is growing. It's a growing economy. There is a lot happening. Tier 2 markets, Tier 3 markets, there is a lot of opportunity. At the same time, it's very challenging as we go forward. And like in any other industry, when it reaches that point when the industry matures and becomes more competitive, brands have to innovate more, they have to differentiate more, they have to create access of their products to consumers through all channels, and they have to become more sharply positioned, which means they have to really do a good job in creating a space in the minds of the consumer, a unique space, their USPs, their differentiation, their innovation. So I think for like every evolved market, brands will play a significant role as we go forward because products everybody will create, but then you will have to connect with consumers beyond product. Your brand values will become important, your brand personality will become important, and as India is becoming younger, how the consumers relate with brands is changing very fast, whether it's sustainability, whether it's fashion, whether it's expectation of catching up with international trends, whether it's those polyamides. So it's going to be a complex market, but at the same time, it's not a doomsday. It has a lot of opportunity. Like I said, in cotton space, there is a very positive supply chain that India has and a lot of strength. But synthetics, we'll have to bring home. We'll have to do collaborations. We'll have to bring some manufacturing capability in India. We will have to, bra manufacturing, for instance, is still not so evolved. So I think the industry will have to evolve and innovate more. Brands will have to create more differentiation. Channels will have to evolve more. Looks like a complex scenario, but very positive and challenging.
Evolution is required at all ends.
Yes.
And I'm sure all the industry stalwarts are here who lead the way and everybody is going to follow suit. So Mohit, your last thoughts on it?
So I think Mr. Sunil and Mr. Ajit have covered almost everything. So I would just like to say for us, what's our motto is that the change is the only constant thing that's there, and every brand needs to get hold to their one niche through which the customer connects with them, and they need to obviously keep evolving with the changing market and trends, but the niche should be there and the brand should be able to connect with the customer in a way that it creates brand loyalty, which is, I feel, that's not there nowadays because of the online market, and it's all the brands, all the product style, same products are available from each and every brand available on all these e-commerce platforms. But to get the market share, I feel India still has a lot of potential because there are only some percentage of women which have inculcated lingerie as a fashion product in their wardrobe, but not everyone has. And as the younger generation is coming, and we are a young country, so as the younger generation, Gen Z, Alpha Gen, are coming, so it is gonna increase, and it is gonna become a fast fashion industry in India. So just get hold of a niche and change with the upcoming trends and market requirements.
Absolutely. Ajit, you'd like to add something?
I think what I firmly believe is this industry, because of the challenges, what Puneet said, it's going to be challenging. It's going to be, it's bright, but it is going to be challenging. I think our industry is going to go the corporate way. The same thing which has happened in banking and finance, right? Exactly, I think our industry is going to go that way. You would need to become a corporate to survive in the innovator industry. We have, I mean, Reliance is something which is in infrastructure, made roads. They also have entered our industry. So you see that kind of bandwidth and the kind of management that a corporate level has. I think all the brands would have to move to a corporate level. That's the biggest change. I think that one
also
one
a long
word,
way to
yeah.
go.
That's in one thing everything should be covered. I think. Yeah.
Absolutely. Siddharth, anything you want to add?
I think mostly everybody's covered very good points. While I agree with the challenges that Puneet ji has mentioned, but I also feel with the challenges, there's a huge scope that is coming in our way. We are the largest middle class growing country in the world, huge population in our country, so there is enough scope to also grow. I mean, if there's no challenge, there's no growth, I feel. And yes, while I agree, manufacturing sites need a lot of effort. There is very scattered manufacturing in India, particularly for innerwear. The technology in the R&D on that side is very weak. There is no one unit coming together, pulling in a strong foothold of manufacturing. That could be skill, that could be raw material, that could be machinery, that could be so many things. So we are way behind in that, but I think because the consumer is moving very fast, they have to keep up, because the survival is on that. So I mean, for us to capture the growth that we are seeing, we have to move forward in that way and fight all the challenges that are there. So I'm very positive and very optimistic about the future that we have, and I think this exhibition in itself is a great example of it. 6 years ago, 7 years ago, what it used to be, or what scale it used to be, and what it is today, in terms of the evolution of the presentation of exhibiting as an organization and the brands, what they're presenting, I think it's a huge, huge change. So that says a lot directly and indirectly. So I think it's a huge opportunity for everyone to grow, and I think we are in the right industry at the right time.
We are hopeful as well, Siddharth. So I'd like to...
Can I
Yes,
add to
please.
that? Yeah.
Please.
So definitely I agree that there is a lot of opportunity. I didn't mean to dishearten people, but yeah, there is also a lot of challenge. At the same time, like, you know, the industry has evolved, so it is now maturing. Like a mature industry will have big brands, lots of competition, and each uniquely position themselves to places. And that's what I want. Thank you.
Thank you. So definitely we are looking at future, and there's need to have evolution at all the stages. So hopefully when we are meeting next, we'll be somewhere forward in that future. All right, thank you so much.